Adventure is in my blood. Finding treasures big or small and having fun is what it's all about. With my wife Melissa and our 3 kids, life is pretty full. But there isn't a mountain we can't climb together. This isn't your ordinary antique store. My name is Alex Archbold and this is Curiosity Inc.
I'm home, honey! Hey guys, and welcome to today's episode. Well, I am on a coin-operated frenzy. I'm trying to find some really neat coin-operated machines, preferably the older the better. And I put an ad on my Facebook page. We have a Curiosity Inc. buy and sell page where people buy and sell stuff. And I said, what can you find me that's really cool and unique? And I got a couple leads already. Right now I'm off to a fellow's house to go pick up a pinball machine, and tomorrow a lady's bringing by a couple others. So follow along in today's episode while we go pick up some cool coin-op machines and hopefully find some other treasures along the way. So why are you looking for coin-operated stuff, you might ask? Well, it's cool. I love the fact that they're mechanical, they do something neat. In the world of collectibles, they're one of my favorite. That, wristwatches, old toys that do stuff. It's just really fun. Vintage pinball machines are still very collectible. A lot of people put them in their house, in their basements, and sometimes in their businesses. Anytime I can try and get myself something really cool for the store, I definitely work at it. So hopefully these things will fit the bill. This is the machine. It's you said it's a 1953 Poker Face. Early Gottlieb machine. You can tell the early ones are always made out of wood. They have wood cabinet. Well, actually the later ones have wood cabinets too, but sometimes you'd even find that these had wooden legs. Yeah, this one's got metal legs, which is fine. And the things you want to look for on an old machine like this, what kind of shape is the play field in? From years of that ball running down the track, it can get worn away. So the graphics all look pretty good. It's going to need a bit of a cleaning and maybe some new rubber. Obviously that one snapped. And you said you had it working 10 years ago last?
Yeah. I was just looking this morning and they sell all rubber parts for on Amazon.
Oh yeah, you can get pretty much anything for these. And I also happen to have a coin-operated expert who does work for me, so we can piece this all back together. And they do come apart in pieces like this, so they're easy to transport, but I think that's going to be great for the shop. So I think we got a deal here.
All right.
As we're chatting about the machine here, I noticed this behind me. It's Clio Cola. Never heard of it before, probably a very early cola brand. There was tons back in the days, not many of them lasted. It's just a partial sign, but the graphics were so good, had to make an offer on it. Pinball machine is here, but before I can set it up, I've got to get the legs on. I'm gonna grab a wrench, and then we'll attach these legs and I can set the base up. Once the base is on, then you can attach the head unit, and once that's on, you can get all the wiring and everything hooked up. Yeah, if I can remember where I keep my wrench and tools. I think I've got some in the kitchen area here. Well, I'll find one. Now the legs are essentially all the same length, but what changes the pitch or the angle of the pinball machine is how you have your legs set up. Now, the steeper the pitch, the faster the play, and everybody likes a fast playing pinball game, so I'm gonna have the back ones basically high up off the ground, and the front ones will be as low as possible to give it a nice angle. Okay, I got the legs on. I probably should have set the camera up to show how much I was struggling because I had to lift the pinball machine at the back end by myself while threading a leg. Anyway, easier to do if you have a person with you, but it's done, it's on there. Next, I have to get ready to mount the head unit. Before you do that, you always want to make sure that your power cable is run out the back because I've made this mistake before. There's the cord there. Thankfully, the cord doesn't look like it's in bad shape. Somebody's probably replaced it at some point. You want to make sure that that is out, because if you put the head unit on top, you won't have anywhere to put it through. So we're going to get the bolts off and ready, get the power cable all run through, and then I'm going to pick up the head unit and put that on top. Okay. Thankfully, this style of head unit is quite a bit lighter than the more modern ones. It is actually, it's still got some weight to it though. It's heavy wood, it's got the glass, and I'm being careful because I don't want to accidentally break the glass on the front. Okay, now that the head unit is sitting in place, I'm gonna lift the back here, take that off, and then I can access the points to put the screws through. With the back off, I can see this machine's gonna need a little TLC. There's a couple of wires detached here. The ringer for the bell is missing. It's supposed to make noise when you play. It might still work, but it's not gonna work properly. But I've got my trusty friend Jim who can fix that up for me. But for the time being, I'm gonna make sure it's sturdy and in place. I'm gonna get those screws back in and move it in position. The next thing you gotta do is reach down inside and pull up the wiring harness. You can see I've got a bit of a bent pin right there, but this one's really easy. There's only 2 pins. One goes there and one goes next to it. So you plug them back in and that's your power source for the head unit. Okay, and there it is. Set up for now anyway. I've got it with the other pinball machines. I'm not going to try and turn it on yet until I get my pinball guy to have a look at it, because I definitely don't want to cause any more damage. Plus, I've ordered online the replacement rubber kit. So until all that stuff comes in, I'm just going to let it sit there. It can just kind of hang out with its other vintage arcade friends while I wait for the parts to come in. But this should be a fun game to play. And, you know, it's not necessarily easy finding a vintage machine like this. And I think I'm going to have a few little parts to find too, like that missing number 2. Oh, there it is up there actually. I guess I have a few more parts in there than I expected, but a little bit of TLC and a little bit of work and I'll get this thing back up and running in no time. Been a busy day so far, and I was waiting around to the end of the day because I had some lovely folks who were going to drop in with a couple really cool arcade machines. While I was waiting for them though, another fellow came in and he had an original Atari system, and it has like 15 games in there, like Donkey Kong and the original Miss Pac-Man and the E.T. game, which destroyed the entire Atari company. But that was really fun, but the folks are here with the machine, so let's go have a look at them. Okay, well, Paula, welcome to the shop. You have brought me in a couple really cool pieces, so tell me how you came across them.
Hi, Alex. Well, I do a lot of auctioning in and around the Edmonton area, and I buy and sell a little bit, and I like unique and collectible things, so I picked up the German gambling game that has the old German airship that moves across at one sale in Kalmar, and at another sale in Wetaskiwin. Well, the company is now in Wetaskiwin. I tripped across this hockey game, and I could tell right away it was old. I really didn't know what to do with it. I was looking for someone to refurbish it for me, really.
Well, maybe that could be us now that we have it. We'll try and do something with it.
I know, it's so exciting.
Okay, well, they're so cool. I got to walk around and show people what they look like. The first machine that Paula's brought me, it's so cool. It's an old hockey game. And it's coin operated, probably one of the very first coin operated hockey games. I would say it's got to be from like the 20s or 30s. Especially you look at the outfits that they're wearing and you get a sense of the age of the machine. Thankfully, all the paint is intact there. They are, however, missing their heads. But the idea is very simple. You have your little hockey guys on one end or the other, and there would be a little ball that drops in there. And you just try and get it in the net, like a really early sort of air hockey table. There's the coin mech right there. Somebody has painted the cabinet at some point, but you know, it's in good condition. Wooden leg unit, so that dates it kind of like pre-1950s. And I would say this is certainly an old piece. Now, if I can find the heads for these guys, we'll be in good shape. But the other one you brought in is really cool too. Let's go have a look at that. Sure. I've got my hand buried deep inside this machine right now because I'm trying to reattach this rod here, right there, to try and make this game work. Let's see if I can get it. I think I got it. It's actually a pretty simple mechanism in here. Let's see if that did anything. There we go. Look, I discovered it even still had the ball inside. And that's a goal. Okay, well, this machine is working. Aside from the fact that the paint is kind of worn and the heads are missing off of the guys, it's pretty well ready to go. It can be played and be put in a rec room right now. I am going to see if I can maybe fabricate or do something with the heads. It's essentially just a round ball, so if you can put a thread into it and thread the ball on, it'll help complete the look. But pretty happy so far. That's one machine down. I'll go see if the air balloon machine works too. Now this, you would probably put a penny in, I'm going to guess, through the top. Oh, right there. There we go. Yeah, you drop the penny in, it falls in, and then you'd shoot it. and it would kind of bounce around. And if you got it into the little air balloon there, you'd probably maybe win some points. What's neat about this is the theme. The hot air balloon, you know, this is an early piece, early form of gambling. It might have even dispensed something like a little mint or a prize that came out the side here. Sometimes it was a little chocolate. And Parsifal was a brand name. They actually made 22 airships between 1909 and 1919. They were a rival to Zeppelin, different type of aircraft. They were kind of a semi-rigid aircraft. So this is kind of a neat thing because it really gives it a date of around that, you know, 1909 to 1919 sort of range. And it's interesting because it's all in German. So this would have been something that was used over in Germany. And 5 Stück. So 5, basically like 5 of their equivalent cents to play that game. Really nifty little piece of history. Open this one up and have a look-see. Mechanism looks all intact. It's got the little bell on it, and I can see there's even a couple pennies left in there. Looks like American pennies in here from the 70s. Probably was sitting in someone's rec room at some point. This tube is what would have held the payout, the prize. As this was a form of gambling, you would have loaded that probably with a little peppermint or something, and then when you pull the lever like this, oh, well, it normally doesn't make your phone ring, but it would have paid out a mint and answer that phone. Well, this one's going to take a little bit more tinkering. I can see that there's a penny kind of jammed in the bottom. There's only one at a time, so the little shooter isn't working. And this crank is meant to turn the little hot air balloon, the dirigible there, so it will go back and forth. But it's really stiff. So a little bit of oiling, a little bit of cleaning. I'm sure this machine will be up and running in no time. Still a fantastic looking piece. But really cool. It's got the key with it. And I just love the graphics. It's such a neat piece. I'd say you definitely have a good eye.
Oh, thank you so much.
And you do buy and sell antiques as well, don't you?
I do, yeah.
And well, if I come across other things, you're into more like the figural pieces.
Exactly, decorative collectibles, porcelain, ceramics. A lot of European stuff ends up in Western Canada, so I'm able to go to farm sales and auction sales, estate sales, and get some really interesting things.
Well, I can see that. Well, thank you very much for bringing these in today. Nice additions to my collection here. Thank you. Well, that's it for today. Next steps on these machines are going to be going through them, trying to find some parts. The hockey game is missing the heads off the players. I might have to fabricate something there. But really some minor TLC and get these back on the market. And I'm always on the lookout for cool, interesting coin op and vending machines. They're one of my favorite things to carry and sell at the store. If you ever have anything, just send us an email at curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. Who knows, maybe you've got a machine or something that might be of interest to us too. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you're ever in the Edmonton area, come by for a visit and say hi. Or check us out on Facebook under Curiosity Incorporated or on Instagram at Curiosity Inc. YEG. We'll see y'all soon, and bye for now.